What's up, everybody? It's the Bipolar Prophet, and welcome back to Old Ridge Farm in Farming Simulator 15. So as you can see, it's not raining. Finally, well, not finally, because that's not fair. It wasn't like it, rained for a week. It rained for one day, which is pretty much what everybody expected it to do. And now it's sunny again. But okay, if there's more rain down the road, that's awesome. That little bit of rain did definitely help. As you can see, we're up here, up by Shawn Blaylock's place, up on the meadow that he managed to pry away from the council, as it were. He had told me a long time ago that, when he first sort of acquired the rights to this meadow, he said, hey, if you want to come cut that meadow, because he knows my grass situation and everything, down my end of the valley, where the council's kind of a little stricter about grass and things. He had told me, hey, if you want to come cut that meadow, by all means, feel free. So I decided, I'm going to do it. Now, he must not be using this meadow very much because, as you can see, the soil moisture is obviously good, but the nutrients are not great. I want to make this into silage, and I don't know if that's going to be the right sort of option to do, the right thing, I guess, as it were, to do, because I knew it. I knew Perry was going to drive into one of these trees. He will eventually figure that out. I don't know if silage is going to be the way to go over here, or if I do this into hay or whatever and use my meadows for silage. I'm not sure yet. I guess what I'll probably do is stick with the original plan and make this silage. I do have the other case up here with the rake, waiting for Perry to finish up here. And then I will bring, once Perry's done, I'll bring this down, back down to my farm, grab the baler and the wrapper. And we'll come up and we'll try to get this all done. And then I'm going to bring up a couple of tankfuls of slurry, which is a little bit of a haul, but it's certainly worth it, and slurry these fields for Shawn because I told him I would. No, excuse me 1 second. Let's see, what else has been going on? Not a whole lot. Oh, one interesting thing has been going on is down Mike's end of the farm, down Mike's end of Old Ridge, they're starting to put up speed cameras. It's funny, I get out of Old Ridge, not a bunch, but occasionally, I have to go into the city for stuff. And you see speed cameras all over the place in the UK, they're really in love with their speed cameras. And I was wondering how long it was going to take before speed cameras started popping up in the Old Ridge area, I don't see any near where I am, in my area of the valley, yet. But I have a feeling that you're going to start seeing more of them. I know he just got an 80-pound fine for speeding down by the bridge that they want to repair. Which, when you think about it, makes sense because obviously they want to keep the speeds down. A lot of really heavy equipment goes over that bridge. And sometimes because we're always in a hurry to get places, always in a hurry to get stuff done so we can get to the next thing, occasionally we will, speed, to be perfectly honest. I know I've done it, I know Mike done it, I know Shawn's done it, everybody in the area has done it. So I guess they decided, well, two things about speed cameras. One is that it's always a good source of revenue, and two is slow down. So going to have to keep an eye out for the speed cameras. Everything is planted now. Oh, you are so going to get stuck in this tree, aren't you? You are so going to get stuck in this tree. I may have made the course for this a little too close to the edge of this tree. He will figure it out. But what was I going to say? Yeah, everything's planted now. Everything is everything that we've harvested. Fields 10, the home fields, and field 1 are all planted in alfalfa now, so we're good there. I do need to spray field 10 a little bit with some PK because even though it's got a good load of manure on it, a good load of muck on it, it still needs PK. So one thing I've noticed. Oh, you may have noticed also that I picked up a front mower because I knew I was going to come up and mow this meadow, and it's a pretty good sized meadow, and it would have took a long time to do with just the side mower here. So I picked up a front mower. It was really cheap, like $5 grand, well, really cheap. I mean, it wasn't ridiculously expensive, let's put it that way. One thing though is that I don't know what it is with, missing these big strips in the middle. I guess it's the width it's set to. I should have set it to half that width, I guess. And then put it on symmetrical lane change so that way it would go up and down the rows. And I may do that for the next time I come up here and cut, because I'll probably come up here and cut again. Not this year, obviously, but probably next year, as long as Shawn says it's okay. And I can always go back in and clean that up anyway, not a big deal. And I will, because I would imagine that, as I said a while back about the bale, the bale extension mod and bale condition and all that, and there's a tree like at every turn, it seems like. It never fails. He's not going to catch that one. And obviously, this not being my meadow, I'm not going to come up here and cut down a bunch of trees. So, but the grass condition on this is probably not going to be awesome, you know what I mean? So Gonna have to keep an eye on it. Gonna have to keep on the silage bales. I went up and fed the sheep today too as well. The sheep are now officially out of grass up there. I'm gonna have to bring. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring the rest of the grass, the hay bales that are down at the dairy meadow, up to the sheep, and then use all the new ones. So that way I rotate my bales, and I'm not just parking new bales in front of old bales, and the old bales are just sitting there deteriorating. I have 30 sheep. I only have two wool pallets at the moment. I kind of want to let it fill up. You know, the wool collector will collect 9 pallets, I believe, of wool. So I'll just let that, however long that takes, and then we'll sell them all at once. I did sell the milk this morning. I have quite a bit of UHT milk I need to sell too, but I want to get all this other stuff done first. That UHT milk isn't going anywhere. It isn't going to go bad or anything. So it's got a shelf life of about 2 years once it's been ultra pasteurized like that. So it should be okay. I'm going to let him finish mowing, and then I will clean up whatever he misses, and then bring this back down and bring up the wrapper and the baler at the same time. Put the baler on the back, obviously, put the wrapper on the front. And we can get this all done. Whether we get it done in this episode or not, I'm not sure. It depends on how long it takes. Oh, excuse me, guys. My throat is just ruined. It's December here in New England, and it's been very, very warm, and I'm not complaining about that at all. I actually talked about this in an ETS video that I made just a little while ago. But in case you didn't watch that, I'll tell the story again. It's been very warm here in New England in the real world, which is awesome. I'm not complaining. I don't need all that snow that we got last year. That snow last year was ridiculous. If it stays like this all winter, I'm perfectly happy with that. We've gotten a fair amount of rain here in New England, so I'm not worried about anything I have growing in the real world dying. Any of my flowers or any of that sort of stuff. So I don't need the snow, but the weather is sort of playing havoc with my sinuses, with my throat and everything. So I apologize if you hear me clearing my throat occasionally. You can see over there that I have the case down here with the rake waiting, waiting for him to finish. This isn't a huge meadow, so it won't take very long. In fact, he'll be done pretty soon. I'll just go back and clean up the bits he missed. Get a rake course in here, see how that goes, and then we'll go down with this case and get the baler and the wrapper and get that done. Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? You're going to go around these trees, right? You're not going to try to go through them? Okay, very good. Good job. Good job. Perry's a good guy, Perry and his brother Phil are good guys. They've been with me since I've been here, and they do a good job. And I don't have any complaints about them, so. I did get an interesting phone call from the bank yesterday afternoon. Well, I got a message from the bank, actually. As you guys know, I do a lot of business with with HSBC, the big bank here in the UK. Do a lot of business with them, borrow a lot of money, pay a lot of money, and all that sort of thing. And I got an interesting phone call from them, from one of their people who deal with mortgages and liens and things like that. As you guys are probably aware, banks, when you borrow money from a bank, especially as a farmer, and you don't pay it back, the banks will, first they have several steps they can take to sort of recoup that money. The first thing they do is put a lien on everything. They put a lien on all your property, they put a lien on all your equipment, all your sheds, all your animals, and that sort of builds up in time. They put a lien on everything that you sell, so that they get their money first. Any money that goes into the bank, obviously, will be taken. Okay, you know what? You're just going to do something silly now, and that's my own fault, of course. But I'll just clean this up myself. And then again, if it doesn't get paid, then they start just taking property. They basically take receivership of your farm and take it over. And because of the way things work here in the UK, at least as far as I understand it, farms can't be, just sold right off and all of that. They have to be, stewarded and maintained for a certain amount of time. So apparently there's a farm not too far from here that has fallen into receivership. The person who owned the farm, fell on hard times, just cannot, simply cannot afford to pay their payments and whatnot. And, the bank is always looking, the bank, obviously, being a bank, is, they're not farmers. They don't really know, how to run farms and everything. And they need people that do, to steward these farms while they try to get the financial end of it figured out. And so they called me and they asked me if I would be interested, because I'm obviously on the list of people that, you know, they know basically what's going on with farming and everything, being a farmer, right? And they asked me if I would be interested in sort of administering their hold on this farm until they can get it sold off. Apparently this farm has some stuff in the ground, a very late harvest that needs to come up, you know, that the bank would very much like to get harvested and get sold to recoup a little bit of their money. Obviously they would pay me, you know, a wage, you know, a fee for doing that. I would have to bring down my own equipment to harvest, you know, whatever's in the ground down there. And of course, this was all left in a pretty lengthy message, you know, from the bank. I don't know exactly what all the details are. I haven't had a chance to call them back yet. As you can see, it's only 7 o'clock in the morning, so it's very early. The bank's not open yet, so I'm not going to bother trying to call them to get the details, but I will, because it sort of intrigues me. You know, I certainly wouldn't mind helping out. You know, it always saddens me when a farm, you know, goes under. You know, a lot of times. Now, I was lucky in the respect that this farm, when I bought it, was in very good shape. It wasn't a receivership sort of issue with this farm. It was just the fact that the gentleman who owned this farm before me was very old, and his family was not interested in running it, and he didn't want to see it just sort of fall apart while a bank ran it, you know. And I was lucky enough to be able to purchase it in good shape and everything. This farm, unfortunately, has not been maintained that well. You know what I mean? It struggled for a long time, you know, and now the bank really wants to recoup some of its money. And because there's crop in the ground and there's crop that's going to need to be harvested, they need somebody to do that, and they don't want to just waste it, because, you know, there's probably $100,000, you know, I think is what the person on the phone told me, worth of crop. At least that's the projection, you know. And they would like to recoup some of that money. Obviously, they would pay me a fee for doing it, and I'm thinking about it. You know, I'm going to have to get my equipment down there. I'm going to have to, you know, load up the Maz and, you know, and the low loader, and hopefully I can borrow the Major's low loader. I'll have to call him and ask him. Bring my harvester down there, you know. Apparently there's some tractors down there and a tipper, you know, that I can use. All the stuff has already been basically sold. Will go straight off to be sold, you know. They'll tell me where to take it and everything. And I'm really thinking about doing it. You know, they're thinking that probably another couple of weeks before the stuff is ready to be harvested from their sort of farm liaison, their farm analyst that they have that works for them, has been down there and looked at it, you know. So that'll be interesting, you know, and that might be something I do. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, that's pretty much cleared up now. We can pick that up, turn that off, switch to the back, turn that off, pick that up, fold it up. I'm really glad I bought that front mower. I've been wanting to buy a front mower for a while, but I just didn't really, I couldn't justify it, you know, as it were. But I think now I can. So, all right, let's go and get this out of the way. And we'll get Perry over here on the rake, and then I will take this back down to the main farm and grab the baler and the wrapper. And you can just stop right there for now. Make sure I set the brake. Probably should turn the beacons on, even though this is a farm road and it's not a main road, but I'll still turn the beacons on anyway. Now, the rake. The rake. How do I want to do this? Oh, probably help if I started this, huh? How do I want to do this? Well, let's see. If we start right here. Let's put this on field work. I never remember how wide this rake is. Never. So I have to unfold it. I want to say it's 9. Is this 9 meters, this rake, I think? You'd think I would remember. I use it enough, right? But I never, ever remember. Okay. Well, Courseplay will remember. 8.7. Okay. Well, in order to do that, though, I need to load up the actual markers. Meadow 22 markers. That's what I want. Okay. And go back to that. And starting corner is southwest, I believe this is. I believe we want to go north. I want 2 headlands afterwards, right? Yep. And let's see what that looks like. And, of course, I'm going to have to turn the waypoints on. Okay, yeah, that will work. So might as well fold that up because he's going to fold it up anyway. So, and I'll probably just watch him real quick. This won't take very long, obviously. You know, at almost 9 meters, but you know, that's not. He's going to he's going to want to hunt for that. I'm trying to get him in a little bit better of a position. That's not great, but it should work. First waypoint, what's the speed set at? 6 miles an hour? Yep, that's plenty for this meadow, especially with all the trees and everything. I just want to see how this is actually going to work out real quick. And then we'll take the other case and run down to the main farm, pick up the baler. Well, the dairy farm, pick up the baler and the wrapper. I think if I watch him make one pass and he doesn't get stuck on anything, that should be okay. And again, because of the condition of this meadow, and that's not Shawn's fault, you know what I mean? He's been really busy. We've all been really busy, you know, harvest-wise and everything. So, and he's probably got enough grass. He's predominantly a sheep farmer, so he's probably got enough grass that he's not really worried about cutting every single meadow he has. Whereas for me, because my dairy keeps growing and everything, you know, I need as much grass as I can get. So, but I'll take care of this for him. I'll spread some nutrient. I'll spread some slurry on it, and you know, if it needs anything else, I'll spray it on him, because that was part of the agreement that I made with him. You know, he was nice enough to let me come up here and cut this, so I certainly have no problem taking care of the grass for him. You know. Now, is this going to work out where it's wide enough where he'll avoid these trees on the ends? I think he will, especially since, you know, being almost 9 meters, the headlands will be wider. So I think that's going to be a pretty good deal there. So, you know what? I think this might make a good thumbnail. What do you think? Let's make that the thumbnail while I'm here thinking about it. Very good. All right, turn that back on now, and we can turn that off. All right, looks like you're gonna do your thing. Looks like it's gonna work out. So I will jump back in the regular case, and I should have just walked over there instead of being lazy and waiting for everything to tab around. Oh. Dab. Especially since it takes me a long time to tab stuff now for some reason. You know, obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on this map now. You know, a lot of scripts, a lot of placeables, a lot of tractors, a lot of, you know, things going on. So all that's going to cause lag. It is 7 o'clock in the morning. The sun's coming up, and as everybody knows, farm sim in the sun, right? But I believe Shawn has rights to this meadow too, but I'm not going to mow that one because I don't think I need to. You know, I don't want to mow all his meadows, obviously. So, plus I'm not 100% certain about that. In fact, I just realized I may not actually be on the right meadow. I should have called him and said, Shawn, which meadow am I supposed to be on here? You know, hopefully he has rights to that one too. I seem to remember that he does. If not, I'm going to get in trouble. Oh well, I haven't annoyed the council in a while, so you know, I think I can get away with it. Hopefully. I mean, it's not like they're going to take the hay, you know, the silage back from me. They'll just fine me, you know, if they decide that's what they want to do. So hopefully they don't. Hopefully I'm on the right place. Sort of had to drive around looking at fields. As I said, you know, sort of way back in the beginning of this, you know, I kind of want to keep you know, buying fields sort of in a concentric ring around the main farm, you know, and keep moving it further and further out as I need to. So I don't know why I came this way, but whatever. So it's probably going to be field 12 next, I think. That's the field I'm looking at. It's a big field. That's going to need to be cut, you know, into some more convenient shapes, as I'm going to do with fields 5 and 6. A lot of stuff to do this winter. A lot of sort of, you know, moving of stuff and field realignment. And I want to move the fences down at my pig facility, replace them with hedges. I want to open up the dairy wider. You know, I want to make the dairy area bigger. You know, I'm gonna take my dairy meadow down. You know, plow it out and everything. Take down a little bit of hedge there to make an entrance. Move the Milk Max machines. You know, and just a lot of stuff to do coming up here in the winter. So it should be interesting. What I am going to do, as far as the game goes in the winter, I'm going to extend the growing cycle to 3 days. Just not that it really matters with alfalfa, obviously. G, thank you. You know, it doesn't really matter with alfalfa if it withers or not, because I'm just going to, you know, either plow it in if we get a lot of moisture over the winter, or, you know, direct drill right over the top of it. But I think I'm going to go to 3 days. So I think we'll probably have, 12 days of winter? Is it a six-day growing cycle, I believe, right? So probably 12 days of winter, which should be enough. And then we'll get on into the next spring. And hopefully over those 6 days, we'll get a lot of rain. You know, I don't know if we will or not. We'll see, I suppose. If we do, great. If we don't, well, okay. You know, it's all sort of, that's the way it is. You know. All right. Now, because I'm gonna run something, I'm gonna put the wrapper on the front of this. I don't want to put the weight back on. So we will run up to the dairy, grab the baler and the wrapper, and bring those back up there. Oh, I should have checked the chickens. You know, it's funny, the chickens take so little stuff that I occasionally, well, not occasionally, I always forget to check them to see if they need anything or not. I know I have a whole bunch of eggs to sell, which I probably should do, since I'm going to be driving basically right by the shop that buys my eggs. So. Probably one more day on the potatoes. As you can see, the one over there in the right corner of the screen. One more day on the potatoes, and they'll be up, and we'll be harvesting those in a day or so. So that'll be fun. Always like using that potato harvester. That I really, really enjoy. You know, it's funny. I was watching an episode of this. For some reason, the last couple days, I've been watching back some of my older videos. I don't know, just because, I guess. And I was watching, I think it was episode 41 of this, where I was talking about when the Crawford Brown situation really started to get heavy, you know, when they really started to get, you know, she was really, for some reason, on us, you know, she had declared war on the farmers of the area for some reason. And I was talking about how I was going to sell the farm. You know, okay, well, you know, that's it. And you know, and I've had enough, and I'm going to sell the farm, and I'm going to move on. Well, obviously, now we're on to episode 83. You know, 42 episodes since that. Obviously, that didn't happen, right? You know, I don't see any... Oh, no, I left all this junk in front. How am I going to get this? Ah, oh, jeez, really? Well, you know what? Okay, then we'll do this. I'll get the baler. I'll come down and move all this stuff. I mean, I suppose I could just... You know what? Yeah, let's just do that. I could just reset it to the main farm. I know that's cheating, but... Just because I don't want to move all those barrels, you know, that's just going to be a pain in the butt. So, let's put this on tools and trailers so I can just find it real quick. And we will we'll reset that back to the main farm, grab it, and then go up to the meadow. Jeez, I have so much stuff. It's amazing how fast you accumulate stuff. You know what I mean? You don't really realize it. We'll reset that. Yes. Okay. And hopefully it stands up and doesn't fall over, you know, and I have to mess with it for an hour. You know, it's funny. Obviously, now we're on to episode 83 of this. You know, 83, almost February of 2016 will be a year that we've been on this map, and I'm pretty sure we're probably going to make it to that point. You know, but it's funny how much stuff you accumulate, and I've gone through a couple of times now in the 3 episodes of this, and sold a bunch of stuff. You know, stuff that I'm just simply not using, stuff that I have no use for anymore. You know, I needed it at one time and now I don't need it anymore, or I've replaced it with bigger or newer stuff or whatever. But there's still so much stuff on the farm. As it stands now, I don't see myself buying a lot of different stuff, a lot of more stuff. Probably what will happen is I'll start to buy bigger stuff. I would like to get another seeder, whether it be another one of those small Pottingers or whether maybe it be the 6-meter Valderstad, maybe. That's probably the way I'll go. You know, because obviously, I've got the tractors now, and all my tractors are powerful enough to pull, good size equipment. So there's no real reason not to get, bigger stuff. As far as tractors go, I'm probably good with tractors. I'm into the bank for a lot of money, and as I've said this year, being with the drought, with the yield, being decent but not phenomenal. I'm just not going to have a lot of money after I make all my payments and everything at the end of the year. So, I doubt very much we'll be buying any new tractors. Because as far as I'm concerned, expanding the farm is kind of more important to me right now than anything else. So, that's kind of where I'm at with that. Plus, none of these tractors are very old. Obviously, this is probably the oldest tractor on the farm right now. Still only has, almost 56 hours on it. So I can't really justify going out and spending, $150,000, $200,000 on a bigger new tractor that I don't really need. All right, where is this thing? Oh, good. And of course, Enzo, my friend, why did you put everything so that it resets right here next to this hedge? Not that it matters. I mean, you can always drive through the hedge, but and this isn't so awful. There we go. Now, is this technically legal to drive this on the front of this? I don't know. It doesn't really obstruct your view any. I certainly wouldn't want to get hit by it. I wouldn't imagine it's any different than maybe having a big seed tank on the front or whatever. So, the insurance agent was down yesterday. Speaking of these gates, and drove right in, right, and asked me and said, "Well, so you put gates up. Do you want to maybe close them occasionally?" Yes, I'm sorry. Just silly things that I don't remember to do, because I'm so busy with everything else. I'm not getting a case Puma 240 CVX has finished work yet, so must still be working up there. That meadow's not that big though, and he's not stuck on anything, so that's good. Probably what I'll do is, we're 25 minutes in now. Probably what I'll do is, how long is it going to take them? Well, you know what we'll do? We'll do this. We'll bring this up, obviously. We'll probably bale that field because it shouldn't take too long to bale. And then we'll wrap it in the next episode. Also in the next episode, too, I'm going to need to feed my pigs and my beef. I'm going to need to bring them some mixed rations and probably some water. They're getting low and all that stuff. Check on the straw and all that. Oh, there he goes. Now he's done. Very good. Check on the chickens. And then probably maybe, I would imagine, be harvesting potatoes. So that's probably going to be another early start for me, as every day here on Old Ridge, especially during harvest, is an early start. Get up and take care of my animals and do all that stuff, and then come back and, get the potato harvester set up, get everybody on, all hands on deck, as it were, and get harvesting some potatoes. Slow down, slow down, slow down. You see the telehandlers down here. I'd bring it down to feed the sheep. The sheep don't go through a lot of stuff, but they do now because of the animal values mod. I don't know exactly how much more, because I didn't alter any of the values. Talking to Mike, he said that he hadn't altered his except for the milk output to kind of lower it a little bit. To sort of square it up with the prices, with real-world prices and the real-world money you'd make for milk. Because as I've said, even though the game is pretty close to what you'd actually get paid in real life, the amount of milk that the cows generate is a lot more. So he said he was pretty happy with the actual input, what the animals actually take in as far as food and everything. He was happy with that. So where am I? Oh, I want to go this way. Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna go this way over this narrow bridge. I always get a little lost up here. Down Shawn's end of the valley. I don't spend a lot of time up here, unfortunately. I'd like to come up here more because it's really pretty up here. All of Old Ridge is pretty. There's no unattractive parts of Old Ridge by any means. But yeah, so I think the sheep are actually eating a little bit more now, which is fine. As long as I don't run out of grass, it's a good thing. So, all right. Oh, don't block the entrance because you're gonna need to get the puma out of there. So. You stay there. You can stay running. Just set the brake, jump out, go find him wherever he is, wherever he ended up. Oh, he did a fine job. Fine job. Very good. Yep, that will do just nicely. And of course, this meadow's on a hill, so I'm going to have bales rolling all over the place. Go figure, right? Jump into you. Shut you off. Reset you. Oh, I should have saved that course. Oh, well, that's fine. Turn you off. Turn the lights off. These guys love to run the lights. Go move you out of the way. Hopefully I don't have bales, rolling out into the street and everything else. That's one good thing about my meadows, the meadows that I cut regularly, they're all flat. So not really so much of an issue having bales rolling everywhere. I suppose if I parked him about here, he might act as a block to stop some of these bales, maybe. Maybe not. Who knows? We'll turn those on. Set the brake. 30 minutes, why not? Let's go bale this. Let's go bale this. Why not? Where do I want to start? I think I want to start right here, right? Oh, might as well start right here. switch to this. I'll just leave the wrapper right on the front. Why not? V and B. Oh, yeah. Gotta make sure I fold it first. Got half a straw bale in there, so that'll be good. I mean, you can already see that the yield is not going to be fantastic, which I was fully expecting. I knew that was coming, you know. And again, I'm not, obviously that's not Shawn's fault. He's doing, the best he can. He probably didn't absolutely need this meadow, so it wasn't a priority for him to come up here and take care of it. I have no issues taking care of it for him. I think I'll run around and clean up this stuff, and then start going up and down. You want to slow down, BP. Jeez. Why are you bailing so fast? In fact, because I know I'm just going to fly around here at full speed, I think I'll just do a little cruise control action. Okay, now, I think what would probably make the most sense is if well, first of all, lifted that. And then, if I want to go up and down first, so I'm not leaving bales in the headlands, so they're in the way, or do I want to, no, I want to do that. Let's do that. Let's go down this one first. I'm not going to get very many bales off this. Well, okay, again, it is what it is. It's, I'm certainly not complaining about, getting some free grass, so. Normally it wouldn't be so much of an issue because I'd be able to, in fact, let's jump out and take a look at this bale and see what bale extension thinks of this bale. Yeah, see, quality C already. It's $39.99. And it's just not great quality, but okay, it's going to be what it is, and I am not going to complain about free grass. So normally it wouldn't be an issue because you'd be able to, get another cut and whatever. But I think, see, obviously I'm not going to get another cut going into late fall and winter here. So I don't know if we're going to have enough silage to get us through the winter. I don't want to do too many of my meadows in silage. Just because I need the hay as well, so. Grass is always an issue for me, always an issue. I need to just plant a big grass field somewhere, I think, and then not have to worry about it quite so much. I'm actually kind of surprised that bale stayed there. I'm glad it did, but I'm kind of surprised. If I did, of course, it's going to depend on how many bales I get off this. It looks like I may get 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 bales off this, maybe. Which, okay, that's all right, Then maybe I can do 8 or 9, one of my meadows, meadow 8 or 9, in silage as well, and then do the other 2, the dairy meadow and the other, whatever, of 8 and 9 I don't do with silage. We can do that as hay, I guess. Because the yield on my meadows are going to be better, just because I'm so focused on them, because I have to be. Oh, I'm so tempted to go cut this meadow next door, too. Because, obviously Shawn said, hey, if you need it, by all means. I just don't know. I'm not 100% certain if that's his meadow or not. If I'm on the right meadow, if I'm on the wrong meadow, I should have called him. It's early, though, and I know, we're all working so late. He's probably out in the field somewhere, His farm tends to spread out a little bit. The land that he bought tends to spread out a lot further away from his main farmyard than mine does. So he's probably way out somewhere. And I don't want to bother him and be like, Shawn, I need some, be like, listen, I'm out here harvesting, man. Can you, know, can you figure it out? I don't want to bother him, so hopefully I'm on the right meadow. I will call him and ask him if he owns that other meadow, and if I can cut it or not, because I think I'm going to need it, you know. And again, I'll be glad to take care of all the nutrients on them all, you know. Glad to take care of the slurrying and the, you know, the PK and everything else. So obviously can't water them, but I can take care of everything else. So. Because we're only going to get a few bales off this. That's unfortunate. But oh well. You know, again, it's free, and I'm certainly appreciative of it. So. Ooh, stop. This is definitely one case of wanting to get as much of it as I possibly can. Let's make this turn. And again, while we finish this up, I want to make sure that, you know, I tell you guys how absolutely appreciative I am of all the feedback, of all the suggestions, all the tips, you know, even the questions, you know, and everything that you guys leave for me on this series and on everything on the channel. It's just awesome. You know, it's so much fun. I really look forward to every day sitting down in front of the computer, logging on to, you know, Google, logging on to YouTube, and seeing my little notification light up and reading your guys' comments. They're awesome, you know. I'm so glad you guys are enjoying this. I know I am. You know, I say it every single Old Ridge episode, but I honestly mean it. I really could see myself playing this for 1,000 episodes. You know, would it probably get repetitive after a while? Sure it would. You know, but I really believe that thanks to Mike and thanks to Shawn and thanks to everybody else who plays on this map and who leaves stuff about what they're doing, you know, in the comments, like JD Vlogger, and I really appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. You know, and even Ian Blake, who's not technically playing on this map, but is, you know, but is part of the story now and everything. And thank you so much for that, Ian. You know, that's awesome. You know, this isn't just a map anymore. It's a living, breathing place, and because of that, you know, it can just keep. It's a real farm, right? And this is what real farms do. You know, they do the same thing year after year after year. You know, and I don't know. It's just so much fun, and I don't ever see myself wanting to stop playing. So. There will be other maps, you know. You heard me sort of tease the Court Farm thing. I don't know if that's going to be a full-on series or not, if that's just going to be, you know, sort of a David Oldfield kind of thing where I go down and take care of that farm for, you know, for the harvest for the bank or whatever. That's probably what it'll end up being more than anything, but it'd still be fun, you know. And also, if you guys are watching this between, you know, well, today is the 14th, I think. Today being Monday, you guys will probably see this on Wednesday. Well, will you guys see this? On Wednesday, Thursday? Maybe Wednesday or Thursday, I'm not 100% certain. I have so many videos made now that I need to get them uploaded. So I'm not 100% certain of what day you're actually going to see this. But if you see this before say, Saturday the 19th of December at about midnight, there'll be a link in the description to my PayPal. As you guys are probably aware, I'm doing the Bipolar Profit Gaming Gives Back charity event to help a very deserving single mother and her 2 small children have a happier Christmas. As I've said, as you guys have probably seen in the video, this person's a very close friend of mine. She's very important to me. You know, I've known her for a very long time. We're you know, and I, as you guys know, I'm loyal to my friends, and I like to help my friends, and you know, anything I can do to give back a little bit, you know, is a big deal to me. And you guys have been absolutely amazing about this. You know, I just like to raise as much money as I can to kind of make Christmas happier for these kids, because every kid, and if I could do it for every single kid who doesn't have, you know, presents under a tree or doesn't have a Christmas tree, maybe doesn't have a stocking or whatever, I would, you know, but I simply can't. But I can help this family, and you guys have been fantastic, and thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I cannot tell you what it means to me that you guys have stepped up, as you always do, and just been amazing. You know what? I read a lot of stuff about the farm sim community on Facebook, on Twitter. You know what? I think that's all bullshit, and I apologize for my language, but you know, the farm sim community, at least the farm sim community that I interact with on a daily basis, is amazing. Don't ever let anybody tell you that the farm sim people are mean and rude and, you know, contentious and everything else, because you're not. You're absolutely amazing. When I ask you guys for something, you step up. You're right there, and thank you so much. And if you're watching this video and you haven't watched the Bipolar Profit Gaming Gives Back charity event, a Christmas plea video, please go watch that video. or click the link in this video. And if you haven't made a donation, you know, and anything, it doesn't matter, guys. It doesn't have to be a big donation. It doesn't have to be $50. It can be $1. Anything helps. And thank you so much to everybody who's already donated, and especially thank you to everybody who's, you know, come to the channel and said, hey man, I'd love to donate, but I just can't right now. And I fully understand that. I fully get it. You know, it's a rough time of year. The economy, especially in the United States, has not been fantastic this year. Just coming to the channel, watching the video, leaving a comment saying, hey, I'm praying for those kids, that means so much to me as well, guys. It really, really does. I don't know why I folded that all up. I know I'm going to need it again, because I need to get every bit of this grass. You know, and thank you so much. You know, we've raised quite a bit of money already, and that's fantastic, and it's already made, you know, it's going to make these kids' Christmas brighter, you know, because I can't overstate the fact that this woman, and I also should say, and I did mention this in the ETS video if you guys watched that video, but I'll mention it again just in case you didn't watch that video. This woman didn't ask me to do this. She didn't come to me and say, hey John, can you do a charity thing, you know, for me? She didn't. In fact, she told me not to do it, but I don't listen very well. You know what I mean? My friends are my friends, and I want to help as many of my friends as I can. You know, and so this is all on me. I mean, she is massively appreciative, obviously, as you would expect. You know, as am I, and you guys have been fantastic, and thank you so much. Okay, I think we can stop right there. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to, in the next episode, we'll just set that, turn that off. In the next episode, I'll wrap all these bales. We'll go grab the Flegel trailer. How many did we end up with anyway? Like 5? 5? Is it 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think there's any more down there. 5. Well, you know what? 5 bales is better than no bales, the way I look at it. So there you go, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that. As always, let me know what you think. Any comments, any questions, any concerns, any complaints, anything you like about the channel, anything you don't like about the channel. If there's something you don't like and it's in my power to change and I want to change it, I certainly will. I appreciate all your tips, your suggestions, your mod links, everything you guys leave me. You guys are amazing, and I cannot overstate how much you all mean to me. And it's not just me trying to be some slick YouTuber, because you guys know that's not me. When I say something, I absolutely mean it. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for coming to the channel, for liking, for commenting, for subscribing. If you're new to the channel and you saw Old Ridge Farm and you saw the thumbnail and you're like, oh, I want to check that out, and you like what you see, please click the like button. Also consider subscribing. It's the best way of being notified of when I make a video, which is pretty much every day. And if not, at least every 2 days. And as always, guys, thanks so much for making me a part of your YouTube day. And this is the Bipolar Prophet saying, see you later.